Cruise news time. We've got a Princess cruise ship dealing with an emergency. We've got an update on the Villa Vie cruise, and we have a couple cruise ships that had to hunker down because of a storm. That plus a whole lot more. Cruise news and my views. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. I'm your host Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views. It's for your face on a Wednesday the 2nd of October 2024. And let's go to Norway, Tromsø, Norway, where the Caribbean Princess is having a mooring emergency. Or should I say they had a mooring emergency. Viewer Canon sent me this footage, which is scary. And I also have some pictures of the aftermath sent from another viewer, Lisa. Let's watch this film together. Man, that is insane. The sound of those mooring lines snapping, those are pretty robust. Like if you've ever been on the ground looking at those lines are pretty intense. Of course, it's a challenge for cruise ships, fairly windy there, and cruise ships act like a big sail. You can tell that the cruise ship has its thrusters trying to keep her next to the dock. It's a bad situation. These lines break. The back end of the Caribbean Princess hits the dock, and then the aftermath. These are some pictures sent from Lisa where you can see that the gangway dragging in the water after this thing is pushed off from the dock. I haven't heard anything official about this from Princess, but taking a quick look at the Cruise Mapper website, it does look like the Caribbean Princess is away and sailing away from Tromsø. So if there was any lingering issues, apparently it wasn't bad because they were able to continue on with their journey. But man, scary stuff. Mooring emergency, not anything that I think I would want to hear on a cruise. Thanks to Canon and Lisa for sharing their experience, and Canon's wife, I think she took the footage. Thank you guys, and appreciate you sending that in. Cruise news story number 2, we have 3 cruise ships that have been impacted by storms in southeastern Alaska, forced to hunker down in Juneau. 2 of the 3 cruise ships were already scheduled to be in Juneau. 2 Holland America Line ships, the MS Koningsdam and the MS Eurodam. This happened on Monday, and they were joined later on Monday by the Norwegian Bliss. All 3 of those ships hunkered down in Juneau overnight until the storm passed. Other ships also impacted by the storms in southeast Alaska include Royal Caribbean's Ovation of the Seas. Fortunately, the storm has moved out of the area, and these cruise ships are continuing on with altered itineraries. But yeah, it's been a wild couple weeks. Storms in the Caribbean, storms in Alaska. That's the cruise life, really. You never know what the weather is going to do, but from everything that I'm seeing, all of these ships and people are good. Just a little bit inconvenience with a schedule change. Cruise news story number 3, it's a story about a literal milestone. Literally, a literal milestone. See this family right here, Thomas and Julie Literal? Their last name's Literal. How wild would that be in your life if your last name was Literal? What is the literal milestone? Well, they've become the 7 millionth passenger to sail on Carnival out of the port of New Orleans. Knowledge, y'all. This family boarded the Carnival Valor on September the 30th, and they were met with a bunch of hubbub and fanfare. Even had the president of Carnival Cruise Line, Christine Duffy, out there for the celebration. There's been a long-standing relationship between the port of New Orleans and Carnival Cruise Line. There's about 400,000 Carnival cruisers per year that leave from the port of New Orleans. Good morning, America, how are you? So don't you know me, I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the city of New Orleans. And I'll be gone 500 miles before that day is done. Shout out Ludacris. Now, many of you know Ludacris did not record that song or write that song. So my challenge to you is this: who did? And I think a lot of people recorded that song. Who's your favorite? Leave a comment below. Cruise news story number 4, and let me show you this. Let's jump over to the computer. Big announcement coming out from Celebrity Cruises. They have announced their grand voyage. Now, this grand voyage will occur in 2026 on the celebrity solstice. And this thing's gonna visit 15 countries and go to 55 different cruise ports without repeating. So here's a little look at the layout here. You've got a 7-night Hubbard Glacier cruise, 9-night Hawaiian cruise, 18-night Treasures of Tahiti and Fiji, 13-night Best of New Zealand, 10-night Australia, Wine and Tasmania, 12-night South Pacific, another 16-night Australia cruise, 10-night Singapore and Malaysia and Thailand, and a 15-night Thailand and Vietnam holiday. 15 countries, 55 ports, 110 days, and it's kicking off in September of 2026. This thing's not even on sale yet. That's why I wanted to tell you about it. It goes on sale on December the 10th. This sounds like a fantastic trip. I don't know what the price is gonna be. We'll have to go back and check the price on the 10th. But man, if you got 110 days and the time off, and I guess the money, and the desire to go to Alaska and the South Pacific and Australia, if all of those things are lining up for you, like, you know, being in the totality of an eclipse, if all of that's lining up for you, this would probably be a pretty fantastic cruise. Solstice, a smaller ship. I think it's 2,400 passengers. Yeah, pretty sexy. Pretty sexy. All right, let's do a quick little Villa Vie update. Villa Vie, the residency at sea, never-ending cruise. It set sail after a 4-month delay from Belfast in Northern Ireland just a few days ago, Monday. And they went offshore from Belfast and they had to stop the cruise ship because they don't have all of the paperwork completely finished. They're still waiting on some approvals. And the word was that they would be leaving that area, starting to head to France Tuesday evening. Well, they haven't left yet. So they're still working through the paperwork process. And as of right now, according to Cruise Mapper, they're still anchored off the coast of Belfast. So we continue to watch it. I'm just waiting for this cruise ship to make its way to France. I'm way too invested in it, but it's gonna happen. There's a lot of people on board waiting to go to France. Interestingly, when I was a child, I was told about a place in France where the women, never mind, wild stuff. But maybe not as wild as this cruise headline I wanna share with you. Tell me what you think this cruise headline means. I'm gonna show it to you, but first, let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. Okay, here's the headline. Passengers are bizarrely hiding this child's bath toy on cruise ships with at least one line clamping down saying, please don't. What do you think that headline is talking about? What do you think the children's bath toy is, and which cruise line is saying, please don't? Cruise news, cruise news, cruise.